What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about Faraday future. I want to go over some expectations of Faraday this week, what might cause some volatility, as well as I see a lot of people talking about the whole reverse stock split. I want to just bring up one positive side of that could really help Faraday. So I'm going to go over all the things that you need to know, but first make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with some data for this week. So Monday is relatively quiet. On Tuesday, you do have Powell speaking. Wednesday is closed early due to Independence Day, so it closes at 1, but that's kickstarting a lot of the consumer linked data. So you do have right here ADP non-farm employment, and then on Friday, capping it off with non-farm payroll. So a lot of Fed speakers, a lot of consumer linked data points. Thursday is closed due to Independence Day. So happy 4th of July, all the Americans out there. And it gets even better because FOMC meeting minutes as well is Wednesday after the market is closed. So the market closes at 1 and this information right here is out at 2. So I'm sure some of you might be wondering, why the hell am I bringing up all this stuff? Usually momentum plays such as Faraday and many others don't really correlate with a lot of the data points. Well, I'm gonna break it down for you. So right now, everything I just mentioned is going to, in one way or another, correlate to interest rate cuts. And if everything goes according to plan, and right now, if there is a good likelihood of a September cut, even if it is only 25 basis points, the market is going to run like crazy. And right now, not necessarily just Faraday, but across the board, the whole market, shorts are relatively overextended. So this is where, if shorts are losing significant amounts of money across the board, they will start to mitigate risk and start closing out a lot of their positions. So this is where, once again, you could really kind of help, or it could really help Faraday in that specific case. So this week is going to be a very fun week. And plus, Faraday's management has been keeping up very good momentum with number of videos, LinkedIn posts, like many different platforms. So there's a lot of good stuff coming from that side as well. So it's going to be a very interesting viewpoint. And plus, Faraday closing above 50 cents. There was 32,000 in open interest, or sorry, right over here, 34,000 in open interest at that 50-cent strike price. So with it closing above 50 cents, that does mean market makers on Monday are going to have to buy instantly around 3.4 million shares. So that could just kickstart a nice buying, nice spike up first thing. And if you combine that with a lot of the other data points, market optimism, this is where you could see very fast swings in the upside for Faraday. Keep in mind, there's a lot of volatility when it comes down to Faraday, and I think there's a lot of, I guess, optimism associated to the whole UAE deal. So I think right now, like, Faraday management does need to give some good information about that. At the same time, I do anticipate this week Faraday management to disclose the date of their shareholder meeting, because as I've brought up, if they do a reverse stock split, it would have to be by August the 2nd. So that does kind of cuts the window down, right? Because they need to give at least 1 week for shareholders to kind of get the proxies, to do the vote. So most likely this week they're going to announce the date, and it'll probably be like 1 or 2 weeks out from now. Which, in my opinion, I think the whole topic about the reverse stock split is really scaring a lot of individuals, which somewhat arguably, like, it can be seen as a very big negative, but I think given the circumstances, like, it could really help Faraday at the same time. So for those of you that do watch a lot of my other videos, aside from just Faraday ones, I do a pre-market video every single day. I talk on where big money is gravitating towards, and there was this one right here. So almost every single week, I bring up one of these stocks where they do go up based off of no information, just the mere fact that it fits the criteria post reverse stock split. So I'm just going to play this, I guess, 30 seconds from my own video, just to put it in perspective on like how frequently this does happen. Comes to this company, so Interactive Strength, ticker is TRNR. It is up 54.9%. Huge day on Friday, even though I think the system's somewhat glitching. It does show 3,200% as a increase, but they did recently do a reverse stock split on June the 14th. This is what they do in case you are curious, so you can pause it and read through it. It's the company profile, but in my opinion, this is one of those stocks that falls under the umbrella of grayness, because there has been no news today or even on Friday to really justify any of these increases other than that reverse stock split. So it's one of those situations that the market really does like low float companies, somewhat heavily shorted and doing a reverse stock split. Somehow that's the perfect criteria for a squeeze. And yeah, even though technically over the last 1 year it is down 98.39%, so it going up 50% is still kind of a drop in the bucket. But so almost every single week when I do my pre-market videos, there's one of these kind of instances that a company has done a recent reverse stock split, relatively heavily shorted, and obviously I bring up the rest of the criteria. So you never know if Faraday is to do a reverse stock split, it could really stand to benefit it later down the line. And oddly enough, even NASDAQ itself does have an article, the impact of reverse stock splits on low priced stocks. So once again, fitting the criteria of Faraday. And in this case, it actually does allude to how it could really appreciate the stock price because of various things, spreads. I could do a full dedicated video all about this because yeah, I think there's just a lot of context in this, and I can actually post this in my video or in the description below. So highly recommend you guys popping over to this and kind of reading through it. But I know, like I said, a lot of people are just very scared and worried about reverse stock splits, and I think there is some glimmer of hope when it comes down to Faraday. And I get it. Sometimes companies have absolutely nothing going on, so they do reverse stock splits. But in Faraday's case, they have the UAE, possible other American OEM partners, and through that, a bridge with the China and the US. So there is a lot of things going on with Faraday. But yeah, I don't know, it's a pretty interesting stock nonetheless. I know in the past I have been relatively bearish on it because I think operationally they just didn't they didn't kind of hit my goals and where I actually was expecting of them. But as of late, like I've mentioned in previous videos, because of this recent hype up, honestly, this kind of lit a fire under management's asses, and they are finally doing something. So nonetheless, definitely stay tuned for this week. It should be a very fun, volatile week. So anticipate, obviously, a continuation of that volatility. 30,000 shares were increased on Friday, so that's kind of a drop in the bucket considering 28.72 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 11.29%, 6.57% of the free float is being shorted, and then utilization 95.38. So let me know your thoughts on Faraday. Do you think that it's going to go higher? Do you think we're going to see $1 or potentially higher than that? Or do you think it's going to be sub 50 cents? What's your viewpoint? And just to give you a good overview for this upcoming Friday for July the 5th, you already do see 22,000 in open interest at that 50-cent strike price, and then 20,000 at that one. So you never know, if Faraday is able to close above $1 by this upcoming Friday, you could also see a nice gamma squeeze component for that. But no matter what, you guys do your own due diligence. I'm just reading the data, not a hype individual whatsoever. So squeezes definitely are very few and far between. You just need all the dominoes to line up perfectly, and plus you need management to be very much on your side. So luckily enough, in Faraday's case, that seems to be the case right now. So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Hopefully everyone's having an amazing weekend thus far. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it, and they give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Kick-ass deal, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.